After us like we're honey-soaked human lollipops. We're not satisfied to see how many licks it takes to get to the center. That's pretty good. Now that's how you make a reference. Stick it inside the quest text.
Comes speculation.
Alright, active ecology. Collect bear droppings, of course. Wouldn't be an MMO, theme park MMO without somebody making you collect animal droppings. Shenanigans back again, and welcome to MMOMG. I recently finished my second week in Echo of Soul, and it's time to report in. This week was kind of mixed with a variety of positive and negative experiences. Overall, I'm still enjoying the game so far, and I look forward to playing more next week. Before we get started, though, I need to address something that ties into some of the topics I'll be covering this episode. Nearly every item is valued and priced at merely 1 silver at a vendor, and that's the lowest possible amount you could get. While I'm in favor of the KISS rule, keep it simple, stupid, this is overdoing it. As you might have guessed, this extreme also has some odd effects on the game's economy, which you'll see later on. While I've been keeping up with professions and hobbies, I'm still a long way from endgame, and I feel it's too early to talk about them in depth at this time. This episode, though, I'll briefly go over what they offer and tell you my experiences with them so far. There are 3 professions, the most basic of which is resource collector. This profession is recommended for adventuring types that don't like to be slowed down by crafting. Simply harvest herbs and ores as you travel, then sell your goods to others or share them with guild members and alts. Resource collectors also get a passive buff to HP, which increases as they level the profession. Alchemy allows you to make potions, rings, and earrings, which is a tad confusing as the other profession is jeweler. As a jeweler, though, you can make bracelets and necklaces with the ability to alter gems later on. As for hobbies, there are 2, and you are allowed to take on both. Hobbies are tied into other game mechanics, so I'll introduce these systems as I explain each hobby. First off, there's the hunger and energy system. Each character has a max energy value that increases as you level. The closer your current energy is to your max, the higher the buff you get to both max HP and your attack bonus, from 0 to 10%. Many skills consume a small amount of energy when they're used, slowly decreasing your total. Eating food increases your energy, but also your satiety, which is how full your stomach is. If your satiety is too high, you can't eat regardless of your energy level. It's kind of a clunky system that's really more of an annoyance than anything else. Taking on the chef hobby allows you to create higher energy food, as well as gourmet items that provide additional buffs for an hour. Early on, leveling the chef hobby costs next to nothing, as crafting basic food requires only 1 ingredient, which you can then refund by selling back the finished product. Again, 1 silver for everything. Very odd. Later on, recipes require various ingredients that drop from mobs, which is a little more in line with what you might expect. Next is the soul system. As you kill mobs, you gain chaos souls, which are kind of like a raw material. There's a limit to how many of these chaos souls you can carry, and once you reach that cap, you can't collect any more. Chaos souls can be purified, randomly transforming them into one of the 4 different types of pure souls, that of hope, innocence, courage, or peace. There are 2 ways to purify souls, either solo or co-op. To purify solo, you must be at a soul sanctum, which are normally located in camps and towns. Solo purifying is done at a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning every 2 chaos souls only gives you 1 pure soul. Co-op purification can be done anywhere, though, and returns pure souls at a rate of 1-to-1. However, it requires another character. Most players will gladly co-op purify if you ask them, as the entire process is done in about 2 clicks and gives double the yield of the solo method. Purified souls have a handful of uses. All players can use them to activate soul skills, which briefly buff particular stats based on the skill used. Soul experts have the ability to manipulate purified souls by creating scrolls that have hour-long buffs, or turning purified souls into special crafting materials used by jewelers and alchemists. Soul experts can also break down unwanted gear into purified souls. In terms of personal progress, I've made it to level 48 after roughly 36 hours of active questing. Quite a few more if you count crafting and placing things on the marketplace. I've unlocked 3 bag slots for my bank, but it's getting really expensive to increase that. I think the next slot costs something like 50 gold, which I'm pretty certain will take well over a week to earn at my current level. One of my biggest complaints about this game right now has to be the fairly restrictive inventory and bank space available. I've only seen one 10-slot bag, which was a reward, and even 6-slot bags cost over 5 gold apiece. If you want better than that, it looks like the only solution is the cash shop. I even tried the marketplace, which is kind of like an auction house, to no avail, though I wasn't really surprised by the lack of offerings there. As I wasn't going to play alts and figured I might need to make gold, I chose resource collector as my profession. It's netted a little extra money, but I've had at least half my auctions go unsold, even at competitive prices. I feel some of that has to do with how sparse the server population seems to be, and I suspect the majority of players simply farm materials on an alt. In addition to the lackluster success with the marketplace, I've noticed that the populations for both the NA and EU servers are labeled uncrowded. It makes me wonder if that's a more positive way to say ghost town. I spent several consecutive evenings queued for random battlegrounds that never popped, the highest number of players in queue peaking at less than double digits. The game's not entirely empty though. I was invited to a guild this week and soon after got to try my first party dungeon with them, that of the Bastion of Cork. I was surprised to find out it was a scripted event-based dungeon, with enemies appearing from a number of entry points, similar to Black Morass or the original Violet Hold in World of Warcraft. Also, I made it to the cavern city of Ryman, and boy was I impressed. When I first arrived, I spent almost 10 minutes in first-person view with the UI off, just taking in the scenery and getting screenshots. Once I found out Ryman was a full-fledged city, complete with the bank, market access, the whole shebang, I immediately set my return point there. It's the first time I've been wowed by the look of an MMO city in a long time, which again says a lot about the work that went into this game's appearance. By the way, check out this amazing piece of scenery that I just couldn't stop raving about. Oh, check that out. Look at that. It's actually making noise, too. See, it's stuff like that that really does it for this game. That is impressive. Can't tell me that isn't freaking cool. What's great is that I heard this monstrosity before I saw it. Thinking I was about to be attacked by a zombie, I look around to find this hulking, mangled corpse attached to the tree, growling at anyone nearby. I thought it was really cool. However, that's about all the time I have for this week. Join me on the Genesis server, NA, or watch live Sundays through Wednesdays starting 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/shenanigans1930. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing for more MMO-related content. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys. If you're going to stay here, 2 things to keep in mind. They start with an S and V, Succubi and Valkyries. You're going to meet more than you've ever wanted of these in your life. They launch daily attacks and ambush anyone that tries to leave town. Wait, so you're saying on the outskirts of town there's hot chicks as well? Yeah, this place is great. This place keeps getting better and better.